violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Tonight, about a shooting inside a mall in Brooklyn. Turns out 2 teenagers were wounded when bullets began flying inside a shoe store. Store workers and customers hid in stock rooms. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger has more on what started it all.
You don't have to say anything more. We know what started it all. It was over some sneakers. And if you guys aren't sneakerheads, you may not be well acquainted with that life. And you may not know that there are some tennis shoes that are worth a lot of money. And sometimes people wait in lines for them. Sometimes people are looking to cop and resell and whatnot, or just look fly with them. But she already said it was in a shoe store. This is just my guess. I don't know if they were waiting in line for a raffle, or maybe they were just in the shoe store. Somebody scuffed somebody's shoe. But when you have super gremlins involved, they're really particular about their shoes, okay? So if you step on them, or if you cut in line when they was trying to cop some shoes, or if you got the shoes and you got the raffle ticket, they didn't, and they want to take your shoes. It can go down either way, but I'm betting that it had to be a dispute over something of that nature.
After the sound of gunshots had faded away, and with the stores at the King's Plaza Mall locked up tight, soothing elevator music was wafting down the halls. Far cry from the pandemonium just minutes earlier.
The gunshot is like an automatic, like that. It stops and then it went off again. The second round, everybody started running.
People was running, and people was crying inside the store and said, shut down the store, gunshot.
Employees herded a whole bunch of us into a stock room to hide us out.
These are the same people who are asking to defund the police just months ago. How did that work out for you? You know, this kind of stuff is happening everywhere. It reminds me of the shooting in Chicago, where the Super Gremlin with the Montclair was busting. He had the blue Montclair jacket and he was busting shots. You know, these guys, they're emboldened. They feel untouchable. They know if they don't do anything super crazy, they can bond out. And they want to flex their muscle, man. They want to show that they're the top dog and that they are willing to take things to that level. And then you have, you have social media involved as well. A lot of guys are getting in disputes back and forth on social media. See, once I saw this shooting, I knew it wasn't like a mass mall shooter trying to get as many casualties. Nah, just a dispute between a couple super gremlins. That's all.
And then we were moved and told to go downstairs through the freight elevator. You know, they really didn't tell us anything.
Citizen video shows worried shoppers waiting for word about their safety, but outside,
Outrageous behavior. I'll leave it at that.
cops quickly determined this was no active shooter intent on mass murder. Just yet another example of the absurd surge in gun violence across the city.
I hate when they say gun violence, bro. There are so many people who have guns who don't use them responsibly. And even at one point in time, New York wasn't as bad as it is now and as it's getting, and will continue to get, even with tough on crime, Mayor Eric Adams, right? It's going to continue to get worse. And he's not on the scene for this one. So I told you he was going to get tapped out. He was going to get tired. But I think this is one that you kind of got to show your face for. This is a shooting in a Brooklyn mall. They supposedly gentrified Brooklyn, but didn't keep the Super Gremlins out, who wanted to go on Demon Time.
This afternoon, a 19-year-old carried a gun to the mall along with 2 friends. They were shopping in a sneaker store when a group of 6 other teens confronted them, and the 19-year-old opened fire across the store.
Guys, are you serious?
Murder. Just yet another example of the absurd surge in gun violence across the city. This afternoon, a 19-year-old carried a gun to the mall along with 2 friends. They were shopping in a sneaker store when a group of 6 other teens confronted them.
So they're shopping in the sneaker store. They get confronted by 6 teens. So they were outnumbered. This is a 19-year-old. I get it. I really do. You're outnumbered. You know, you hear guys talking about we don't do no one-on-ones. Like, you know it's not going to be a fight. So you toting and you bust your gun. That's the mentality. Okay? That's how these dudes is getting down. I mean, this guy's 19 years old. He should be at the mall trying to get numbers, you know, using his little $20 to go buy him like a noodle plate, some teriyaki chicken, some buffalo chicken, some spring rolls. I'm sorry, guys, I'm hungry, but you know, that's what I was doing. These dudes, man. It's like these Super Gremlins, they don't even care about clapping cheeks. They just want to clap their gun.
And the 19-year-old opened fire across the store.
There were probably upwards of 10 shots fired by this individual. And it's just outrageous, super reckless.
Eyewitness News obtained these pictures of the bullet holes left behind after both groups fled onto Avenue U. Police say 2 of the targeted teens were hit. One of them just 14 years old.
Wow. So these dudes are young, man. These dudes are young. And I mean, if you come and you're cornering somebody in the store, it's fight or flight. And they decided to fight this time. What can you say? It's just Super Gremlins on Demon Time. Okay?
2 people shot. Thankfully, unfortunately, their injuries are not life-threatening, but we're very fortunate that that's all that happened.
The suspect and his friends ran a few blocks, but cops quickly caught them, and it turns out they know the gunman well. He was arrested just 2 months ago, found after a high-speed chase to be in possession of 4 guns.
Wow, so this guy arrested 2 months ago. Are you surprised? Are we surprised? Okay? You can't be surprised. This is what they're doing in New York City. Catch and release. I don't know. This is what you asked for. That's all I'm gonna say. This is what the leftists asked for and continue to ask for.
He was out on bail for that crime when he got his hands on yet another firearm today and went shopping for sneakers.
It was scary. You know, what neighborhood are you safe in?
Cops aren't sure exactly what the fight was about, but it was probably something pretty trivial. Though nothing is trivial when teens are carrying guns.
Wait, nothing is trivial when Super Gremlins are carrying guns. It's not teens. Don't do everybody else like that. That's not it. Let's keep it a bean sack. When the Super Gremlins are carrying guns, it's not just teens. It's not all these teens. Right? When you hear people say, not all. Yeah.
Cops aren't sure exactly what the fight was about, but it was probably something pretty trivial. Though nothing is trivial when teens are carrying guns.
People was running, and people was crying inside the store.
People running, leaving their babies, everything. It was bad.
Shoppers sent scrambling as bullets fly inside a New York City mall. The sneaker store fight that sparked the gunfire and the teenagers hit. We thank you for joining us at 11 o'clock. I'm David Ushery. Natalie has the night off. The decision to fire a gun inside Kings Plaza shopping center put dozens of innocent people in danger, but police say it was two teens involved in this afternoon's dispute who ended up in the hospital. News 4's Checky Beckford live at the mall in Mill Basin with more on the chaos that ensued. Checky?
Well, David, the mall has been closed ever since those gunshots rang out around 2:30 this afternoon. As you mentioned, it sent those two teens to the hospital and sent countless workers and shoppers running for safety into fitting rooms and storage rooms.
It sounded like a machine gun. It was like...
The unmistakable sound of gunshots inside a Brooklyn mall Monday.
About 5 I hear shot. Pop, 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 pop.
It sent shoppers running, ducking for cover.
I run going to the fitting room.
People running, leaving their babies, everything. It was bad.
Shoppers and workers inside Kings Plaza Mall feared they were part of the next mass shooting in America.
It was scary. You know, what neighborhood are you safe in?
But police say it was an apparent beef between two groups of men, mostly teens, facing off at a sneaker store.
One of the three males who were standing by the store's cash register pulled out a gun and fired several rounds toward the group of 6 males, striking the 14-year-old male and the 16-year-old male.
A picture from inside the store shows where bullets shattered a mirror. Outside, at least 2 of the more than 10 bullets fired pierced the wall.
That boy let off, bruh. He let off and only hit 2 people. These kids, excuse me, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Making it into the concourse where unsuspecting mall goers were walking by.
There were people in there. I would categorize it as outrageous.
Police say the 19-year-old shooter was out on bail after a November indictment for possession of 4 guns.
And here he is in Kings Plaza armed with another gun, firing shots in a mall.
And they say a second 19-year-old who was with him was convicted in a 2019 shooting and is awaiting sentencing. All 3 in the group were arrested near the mall thanks to witness descriptions. Mall workers also being credited with keeping shoppers safe.
Then put we into the safest part and closed down the store.
Employees herded a whole bunch of us into a stock room to hide us out.
Still, the latest almost daily shooting in the city taking its toll on those lucky to live through it.
I was so frightened. Look, most I have a heart attack, you know.
Now, the 2 teens, one shot in the leg, another grazed in the leg, both expected to be okay. All 3 suspects, the charges are pending against them. Their names have yet to be released.
Well, hopefully they don't get bonded out too, just like the other guy, right? Right?
We're live in Mill Basin tonight. Checky Beckford, News 4, New York.
Imagine responding to multiple 911 calls of an active shooter inside a mall.
NYPD Patrol Bureau Brooklyn South Commanding Officer Assistant Chief Michael Kemper's officers did just that Monday afternoon, arriving at Kings Plaza Shopping Center at around 2:30 p.m. to find a 14-year-old across the street from the mall with a gunshot wound to the leg.
Everybody was just running, leaving their belongings and running out.
Police evacuated and closed the mall and then reviewed security footage, which showed a group of 3 young men in a first-floor sneaker store arguing with a different group of 6 young men entering the store before one of the 3 pulled a gun and shot at the group of 6, striking the 14-year-old in the leg and grazing another.
It could potentially be gang.
Police later arrested 3 men they believed.
Oh yeah, you better believe it's some gang stuff. Gang.
To be the shooter and his 2 accomplices, 3 avenues over from the mall, seizing 2 illegal guns. Assistant Chief Kemper revealed the 19-year-old apparent shooter was out on bail after police arrested him in November for illegal possession of 4 guns.
And here he is in Kings Plaza armed with another gun.
This is your no cash bail system at play. This is what you liberals voted for. Okay? And people get in the comments section and say, Stop saying liberals. It's leftists, bruh. The reason why you have to say liberals is because the liberals don't call out the leftists. So we have to group all of y'all into that pot because, quite frankly, y'all aren't speaking up. Right?
Firing shots in a mall which is open.
One of his suspected accomplices was also out awaiting sentencing after shooting someone in 2019. Monday's mall shooting occurred on the same day. More than 200 business, labor, and civic leaders signed an open letter in support of the mayor's blueprint to end gun violence, unveiled a week ago in response to the killing of 2 police officers in Harlem and the shootings of an 11-month-old in a parked car and a 19-year-old in a Burger King, both in the Bronx.
Do y'all think this is going to work? I don't think Mayor Adams is going to be successful. I really don't. But I hope that he is. But the way that he's been moving, what he's been saying, it hasn't really resonated.
Out of control, we must take stern measures.
Congressman Adriano Espaillat represents parts of the Bronx and Upper Manhattan and called for the creation of a multi-state task force to shut down the gun traffickers supplying the guns used in these shootings.
The iron pipeline must be broken.
Experts estimate 80%.
There they go. Blaming the guns. Am I missing something? Is there another factor besides the weapons, the firearms? Right? Like the people who are using them are out on bail for other charges related to guns. So y'all think y'all can just mandate and rule your way out of this problem? I mean, it's got the fact that they will not address the issue at hand is very telling. The guns are always going to be there. I'm sorry to tell you. Y'all task force is not going to put a dent into the amount of guns that's flowing into New York City. All right? You're just not. You'll get some big gun busts. All the cops will feel good about themselves. Everybody's going to get a pat on the back. Beers on the chief. All that good stuff. But it still negates the fact that, for one, when the people get a hold of them and they use them, you let them out back onto the streets. And for two, this is a community problem. It really is, okay? And until we address that and what's going on there, you're not going to get anywhere.
And of the unknown quantity of illegal guns on the street in this city come from out of state.
Why aren't we combining our resources to stop the flow of guns?
President Biden travels to New York City to meet with Eric Adams later this week to discuss how
his mask looked dirty.
The federal government might help New York to combat gun violence. In Mill Basin, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.